everybody, it's Kiarii Hooks. Welcome to Artistic Adventures by CIC with my mom.
Hi!
We're making peach cobbler. So,
Right?
yeah.
Alright. What we're going to do first is make our crust. And we're going to make homemade crust for this peach cobbler. So that's from scratch. The first thing we want to do is make sure our hands are clean. So we're going to go over here to the sink. So, hot water and dry towel. Hot water is the best for cleaning. Clorox, pine sol, and dishwashing liquid. All right. All right. First thing we're going to do is make sure we have all our ingredients. We have our ice cold water. We have our hot water. We have our canned peaches. We are making it from scratch, but we're going to cheat just a little bit and use canned peaches because the syrup is already marinated in there. We have our white sugar. We have our
Brown sugar.
a little bit of oil. Crisco.
Ground
Paprika.
paprika. And
For our peach cobbler. But we're going to make our crust first. Cinnamon. Alright. So what we're going to do first is our crust. So what that entails is, right. We're going to use our flour.
I can't.
Alright. 1 second, let me get a cup.
So excited.
And Kiara's excited because this is her first time actually making crust from scratch. So, Caesar! YouTube video! Sorry about that. That's our dog, Caesar. This is her first time making crust from scratch. You want to close the window? Go close the window so we don't hear Caesar. Okay, so we're going to start with, we're going to make about 4 pies. We're going to need at least about 4 cups of flour. Okay? So, Kiara, I'm going to come do it. Wash your hands. Go wash your hands first. We always wash our hands. If you leave the kitchen, wash your hands. That is very important. You think about it.
Touch the window.
Right. So wash your hands. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to start with our flour. Okay. First, okay. Put your cup over there. That way we don't make a mess. So you need about 1. Put it in there. That's 1. That's 2.
Getting so messy.
That's 3.
Did you say 4 cups?
We have 4 pans, so we're working on the bottom half of the crust first. So 4 cups should do it. Okay, hold on 1 second. So you take that over to the sink and rinse it out. Water and soap. Hot water and soap. Okay. And then there is a bucket for the, oh, not a bucket, a pan for the, you got it? Okay. That's good. Okay, just leave it there. Can you give me a dish for the flour? I can set this on? Yes. And remember, dry your hands. Okay, all right. So the next step is the ice cold water. Now what you want to do is make sure that your consistency is doughy like, okay? So what we're going to do is get our cup. We're going to put 2 cups of water. Hot water. Rinse it. Just hang on 1 second. New cup. We have to put it on tape. So the next step is cold water. Here you go. You hold that one. Alright. Hold it over the pan. Always over the pan. That way you don't make a mess. There you go. Okay. So there's 1 cup. Always pour low. That way you don't make a mess. 2 cups. So if you do 4 cups of flour, you do 2 cups of water. There you go. Alright. We want it kind of pasty, doughy like. Okay? Alright. There you go. And you always stay organized with your supplies. It makes things go faster and you know where everything is and it keeps things neat and clean. Okay, so you want to stir. What you want to do is stir it really slow. You don't want to fly it out of the pan. You just want to stir it just a little bit because we want to get that consistency. And then I will open the Crisco. This makes the best crust. The best kind to use is butter Crisco. I forgot that at the store, so we're going to improvise a little bit. I'm going to melt some butter in the microwave and then use a little bit of the Crisco. That's how I used to do it back in the day before they came up with butter Crisco. Alright, so here we go.
It's so hard.
Right, so see, and this is what you want. This is what we're trying to get. So it kind of looks like pizza crust. This is exactly where we want to be with your dough for the crust, homemade crust. There you go. And my secret for making a nice, fluffy,
Looks like ice cream.
pastry crust is an egg. Okay. Just one. Okay. 1 egg. Whole egg. Alright, stir it up really softly. Take your time.
The dough is making me take its time.
Okay. And again, you want to keep organized and clean hands. Okay. So now we're going to add our Crisco. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say about 3 scoops. The more Crisco you add, the flakier your crust is. But you don't want it too flaky where it's too rich with the Crisco. There's 2. I'd say 3. What you got?
There's so much to make.
Alright. Now, while Kiarii is doing that, we're going to multitask. Our oven is at 350. So what we're going to do is prepare the pan. And what you want to do is take a little bit of the Crisco. The pans are clean, brand new pans. We make sure they were clean. Give just a little bit of Crisco. You're going to take your hand and make sure you wipe all the corners with the Crisco. Because you don't want your pie crust sticking to the pan. So you don't need a lot, just a little bit. So you put some of that in the next pan. Kiari's going to keep stirring. It's hard, huh? Hard to stir.
Beans are showing.
And if you notice, we have our hair tied back. You don't want any hair in your face. That's yeah. And clean hands. I don't know how much and how many times to stress that. That's very important in cooking. Clean hands. Every time you move, wash your hands. All right. So we're gonna do here.
Not literally
Start the
every
next
time.
press. Yes. Oh yes. Every time you move, wash your. Yes, literally. Yes, that's literal. Every time you move, wash your hands. Hands. Hands.
No, I'm talking
Clean
like
hands.
when you're
Yeah.
still walking
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
Yeah. Clean hands. Oh yeah.
Not out of the kitchen.
All right. So we have 2 pans buttered up. Now, what you want to do after you put your Crisco, or you can use butter even. Yep, keep going, keep going. When I wash my hands, I'm washing my hands. I'm obsessed with the hand washing when it comes to preparing food, especially for other people. Okay, with your flour, this is a trick I learned from grandma, great grandma. You just put a little bit in your hand. Not a lot. and you sprinkle a little bit over the Crisco that's in your pan. And that's to keep your crust from sticking. And then you just let it set on the top of the stove, which is getting warm for your pies. Okay? Set that there. Access.
Keep it a little messy, stirring.
Now the crust, I'll show you the consistency of Kiarii's crust. Okay, so now it's starting to smooth out a little bit with the Crisco. So what we want to do is add just a little more flour because we want to keep that doughy consistency, but not too thick. So we're just going to add just a little bit of flour. Just a tad. Yep, keep mixing because you want to make sure all the Crisco is embedded in the crust. Clean hands, clean hands. Now, once you've put just a little dab of flour there, you want to move it around so that it gets on all sides. Give it a little tap. There you go. A little trick I learned from Grandma. Just kind of tap it down, move it around. Alright, we're going to set those on top of the oven before we get ready to put it inside the oven. Alright, so let's see how Key's doing here. Let me help her out. Because it says it gets really, really thick. Alright, there we go. Okay, really heavy. Alright. Okay, now, because we put an egg, we don't have to put any baking powder. Some people put a little bit of baking powder in their crust. But if you put an egg, how about we're gonna put one more egg because we're making 4 pies. So we're gonna put one more egg, so that'll give us 2.
Ooh, can I cut the egg?
I've done it before. Well, let me do that part because we don't want it to spill over on anything. Yeah, so let me do that part because we gotta move a little faster. Like a YouTube video. Okay. Second. We're washing our hands. I stay at the sink washing my hands. Yes. Wash the hands. Woo. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Let me see. Alright. Now what we're going to get ready to do is roll it out. Okay.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
That's the fun part, huh, Key?
Yes, I'm doing that part.
Okay, hold on.
I am.
We got to make sure this is mixed up really good. Really good. Okay. So, now we're going to set this here out of the way on our butcher block. I have a really nice butcher block, by the way. It's marble. Marble are the best butcher blocks to use. You don't really want to use a wooden butcher block, and I'll tell you why. Because anytime you're cutting different types of food, say you're doing vegetables, say you're doing meat, all of that saturates in your butcher board. So you never want to use a wooden butcher board. You always want to use a marble one, and that's what we have is a marble butcher board. Okay, so now we want to clear our area and make sure that the space that we're going to roll out our dough is really nice and clean. Okay. A little bit of soap.
Soap is what you need.
Yeah. And we know our area is clean, but we still want to make sure. Clorox. Always use Clorox. They use Clorox in hospitals. The best cleaner ever you could ever use. Clorox. Always use Clorox. Okay. Okay, and then we want to make sure it's dry. So we're going to dry our area. Make sure it's good, dry, and clean. This is where we're going to roll out our crust.
We're going to use this.
Clean area. Now that's the butcher block. Okay, alright. There. Alright, now, so what you want to do, once your area is clean, you're going to flour it. And what I mean by that is, you're going to take a little bit of flour, again, in your hand, just like a palmful.
Oh, that's good.
You're going to sprinkle it across your surface area. Just like this.
Looks like cinnamon.
That'll keep your crust from sticking to your counter.
Oh yeah, that's cinnamon.
Okay, now, so what we want to do, now that we have our crust, we put cold water, we put a little bit of hot water. We're going to take a little heap of it and slap it on there. Slap it on there just like that. Alright, about half. So however much you made, you want about half of it when you go to make your crust. Okay, so now we're back to our flour again. Wait a minute. Wait. So now what we want to do is take a little bit of that flour again in the palm. And you never want to go in the bag because it contaminates the bag with your hands. You just pour it out. So, hand me your pen.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this to you and I'm going to let you do it. So we're going to sprinkle a little bit on our dough. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit on our rolling pin. And I'm going to get the camera and bring it over so that you can see what Kiarii's doing, okay? Alright, ready? So what you're going to do, you're going to roll. This is what you call kneading. You're going to roll it out like this. If it starts to stick, you want to pick up a little bit of flour and put some more on your rolling pin. And keep rolling.
Okay.
Just like pizza crust. And you want to go this way, okay? Because our pans are rectangular. And you don't want to roll hard. You want to roll soft. Washing my hands again.
It's so smooth. It's really smooth.
Okay, wash my hands again. So I'm going to come around and bring the camera so you can see what she's doing. Okay. Yeah.
As you see, it is starting to stretch out.
Now you want it thin, but you don't want it too thin. Okay? So we're going to break, and I'm going to help her smooth this out. Okay? Take one.